Welcome back to Ultimate Combat Radio. Mike Stidham here talking a little mixed martial arts, and our poll question is, who's got the best chin in mixed martial arts? And we've actually had a couple people text in. Brandon, what are they saying?
Well, we've got one text for Roy Nelson. And
which you can't argue with. Roy Nelson's got a great chin. I mean, he's got a great belly. You can punch him in the belly and your hand just bounces back too. He's just a big punching bag that can take a lot of abuse.
That's true. Not just a good chin, but you can hit him anywhere and he'll keep coming. We also have a couple texts of people wanting to ask Jan questions. Unfortunately, we are not on the air with him anymore, but they'd like to know if he has believed other fighters when they've failed tests. And I wonder if his opinion has changed about that at all. I would assume it has. And has yours changed, or did you already know that there was room for this kind of...
My heartburn comes from if you didn't specifically list on your rules and regulations and protocols that poppy seeds cannot be consumed by a fighter, then how do you justify taking away a fighter's right to fight? How do you do that? So, a lot of people don't know that poppy seeds can cause a positive. In fact, it sounds like one of those wives' tales. When I first heard that, I thought, that can't be real. I mean, how do you test positive for heroin when you're eating a muffin? I thought it was something they did on Seinfeld to be funny, and yet here it is. It actually does cause a positive. And can't you tell by does it weigh how much is in your system? Because I can't imagine a poppy seed is going to make a real big blip on the radar. It's just going to show positive. And is their testing accurate enough? You got to call all those questions in.
Yeah, well, agreed.
All right. Well, they had a lot of questions for Jan, actually. And we did have somebody tell us that, hey, we're listening. You don't have just one listener. We appreciate you listening. What was the other one?
Somebody says Jake's a wedding crasher. I don't know if they're talking about Jake Ellenberg or his opponent, Jake Shields.
Jake Paul.
Or what that means. But yeah.
Jake Paul stealing people's wives. I don't know.
Who knows?
All right. Well, I want to remind everybody this segment is brought to you by Beehive Bail Bonds, because sometimes bad things happen to good people. Now, I had a chance to sit down with Hank Weiss yesterday. He's going out of town for the holiday, but we did get a chance to sit down and chit-chat about his big upcoming fight next weekend with Steelfist Fights. Here's Hank Weiss. All right, I'm sitting here with undoubtedly my favorite fighter on the planet, not just here in Utah, anywhere, Hank the Vice Weiss. Hank, how the heck are you, man?
Pretty dang good.
Hank, you look a lot better than the last time I saw you. Last time I saw you, you were dragging your butt around.
Yeah, last time I wasn't in a good position, but that last time you saw me was at my last fight, and that didn't go well for me.
What was going on then? And I'll tell you what, kind of an interesting story, that you gave me a ride from the studio over to the venue, and I got out of the car and I went and talked to John Kafer, and I said, I think you're going to win tonight. I think I never would have said that before, because there's not a single facet of the fight game that John Kafer is better than you at yet. You were so down. It just seemed, mentally, physically, wherever it was, you were really down. What was going on?
I don't remember the specifics back then, but I know for a fact with me, if I'm not prepared, then I'm not excited and I'm not amped, because, with not being prepared, there's some fear. For me, there is. I mean, when I'm prepared, then I'm fearless.
You went to the venue and you fell asleep on the couch, so you weren't too scared.
Well, it's all relative. Like, I may have fell asleep as my way to cope.
Yeah.
I mean, really, like I have some nervous energy, so I'm just gonna fall asleep. If I feel good about my conditioning and about my training, then it's a lot different. And
we're talking about your opponent, John Kafer. Now, last time I interviewed you guys, I made some reference to him being better looking than you, and you took exception to that. Now, I think GQ magazine would say he was the better looking of the two, but nobody rocks a mullet like you do, first of all. But, do you feel like you're better looking than John Kafer?
There is no doubt in my mind. We should take a poll, okay? From the neck down, that's different. From the neck down, but I'm a lot prettier, for sure. There's no doubt in my mind. That's not even worth really taking a poll.
No, you are a beautiful man. Now, again, Hank, you're definitely my favorite fighter. And in fact, John Kafer trains at my gym, and I had no problem saying, "Look, man, I can't cheer against Hank. Man, Hank's my favorite all-time person fighter." What makes you so cool, man? What makes Hank Weiss the coolest cat on the block?
Oh my gosh, my mullet. I don't know. I mean, the kind words, I appreciate them, but I don't know. I don't think I am the coolest, but I'm always agreeable with everybody. I don't have beef with I don't play into the politics, and the politics can be dirty.
Yeah.
And I'm clean from that, so I guess that makes me cool.
All right. Well, I've always said that about you. If you don't like Hank Weiss, that's a you problem. So let's move on. You look a lot better. I walked in the door today and I thought, asked you if you'd been lifting weights or what. You're solid. You look like you're in shape. What's going on with Hank Weiss now? What's the difference between the last Hank Weiss I saw and the one today?
Well, before the last fight, I mean, I wasn't really training. I'd kind of, going to the gym. Oh, I always go into the gym twice a week and screw around, no matter what. But that was a very humbling experience for me. I mean, I thrashed the sucker the first time that we locked horns, and I knew it wasn't going to be as easy the second time, but I still felt like my skill set was gonna get me through it, and I was definitely wrong about that. It was humbling, and it was my conditioning. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind my conditioning failed me, and it was embarrassing. I don't mind losing, but I hate not putting up a fight and winning or losing. And since then, with John Kafer in mind, I got a bicycle. I have a father-in-law and a neighbor who are avid bikers, and I picked that up. And actually, it's my new favorite sport.
Really?
I actually rode 100 miles like two or 3 weeks ago in the Ulster race. I rode 100 miles, and I rode strong.
Wow, so that's impressive. That's very impressive.
I mean, I couldn't have biked 10 miles the last time you saw me. I mean, literally. So.
Well, now we've been talking about putting on another tournament, and John Kafer asked. He said, "Hey, man, can you get me in the same tournament bracket as Hank Weiss? Put us on the opposite end." So, would you be interested in a what do you call it, a three-peat, a rubber match with you and him?
Yeah, for sure. The funny thing about that, though, is I have a fight coming up next week, and Kevin at Steelfist called me, to set me up a fight, and I said, "Yeah, can I fight John Kafer? Can you make that happen?" And I don't know if you can always take it for what it is, what the promoter says. I trust the guy, but he said he asked John. John said no thanks. That's what I was told.
It was actually me that vetoed that. So he called and asked if that would be a good match, and I said, no, I don't think John's ready for that match just yet. But John wants that fight, and he even admits, he said, look, man, I didn't beat the best Hank Weiss. I didn't beat Hank Weiss at his best, but I would love to fight him again, and I'd like to get it in a tournament setting where the first time he choked me out in like 15 seconds. So I mean, if a belt is on the line, he feels like that might be a motivator for him. He's kind of like you. He comes to the gym and trains sometimes, once in a while, and he wants some reason to be motivated to come to the gym and train seriously about a fight. And I think that's what would do it for him. Sounds like that's what happened for you.
Yeah, I'll be his reason because he's mine. I mean, no doubt.
Well, let's talk about the fight that you're here to talk about, and that is the Steelfist fight. You're fighting Nick Rossborough. You fought him before, haven't you?
I fought him twice on your show before.
And what's well, tell me about what you think, how you match up with him now.
Man, we're so different that I think it's a very close fight.
I do too. I've seen him lately. He's gotten a lot better. Yeah. And but it's always which Hank Weiss is going to show up, the guy that John Kafer beat or the guy that just choked John Kafer out in 15 seconds. So which Hank Weiss is going to be there? What kind of conditioning are you in, and where are you at mentally, and how do you feel you match up here?
I'm somewhere in between those two guys, closer to the guy who choked out Kafer real quick. I'm very confident in my stamina right now. I feel really good about that. My strength training I'm not good with that, but I've been training consistently daily, and I feel comfortable. I mean, I'm not going to go in and be tired from my warm up, and that has happened. So I feel pretty good. You know, when I took this fight, I know that Nick is no joke. I mean, I beat the guy twice, but you know, I'm not living in the past. I haven't done well in rematches. Right. You know, so
the Hank Weiss can in his worst shape, and the guy that gets tired in his warm up, he can beat most guys. You know, and I'm not sure that Nick Rossborough is one of those guys anymore. He's evolved, and so you know, he is going to be a challenge. I think it's going to be a great. When I saw this matchup, man, that's going to be exciting to watch.
That's true. I mean, I always feel like I could catch somebody, but I don't like to go in with that mentality, because even if I do, it's a boring fight until I do catch them. And I don't walk away from that just because I mean, the last time that I fought Nick, I think he had the edge on me. And he made a mistake, and his knee popped for it. But, you know, I do not want to be pushed against the fence and too tired that I'm just going to stay there and take knees the whole time and then hope I'm going to get a submission and win. You know, I mean, I want to perform well, in part because I mean, part of my motivation is Nick is from Jeremy Horn's camp, and Jeremy Horn and Jennifer Howe. You know, I enjoy fighting on their show, and you know, I fought the first two main events that they had on their show, and Then I didn't have a great performance after that, and I kind of been dropped from the scene. And I would like to win or lose, make a statement that I'm serious. I'm not going to go in and lay on the fence, and you know, I'm worth watching.
Very good. That's good stuff. So you've referenced your gym a couple times. I know you're training down there with Paul Tom. Where could people find where Hank Weiss trains, and what could they maybe what would they expect to see there?
Well, with Paul Tom, I mean, our school is mainly a jiu-jitsu academy. You know, we're in American Fork off of State. I don't know the exact address, but we always just say off of State Street in American Fork behind the Arby's, and there's a McDonald's there too. But we are mainly a jiu-jitsu school, but on Monday, Wednesday, and Saturdays, we have an MMA class at 6, and you know, we spar and you know, box a lot, and then spar on the ground a little bit. And you can expect it to be more of it's a little bit less intense. It's a big family, but we're serious when we start training.
Good stuff. All right, so when's the big fight? When are you fighting Nick? Where's it going to be?
It's let's see. It's next Friday, which is next Friday or Saturday, which is the 9th.
Yeah, okay, and it's at the complex.
It's
right?
at the complex in Salt Lake,
so people can still get tickets. Now, are the fighters selling tickets for these?
Yeah, I have a handful of tickets.
All right. Well, if you want to get some tickets to the show, give us a call. We'll send you down to see Hank Weiss. We'll put you in touch with him. So. Good stuff, Hank. I always appreciate you coming on the show, man. I love watching your career, and I'm definitely going to be there strictly to see you fight. So I'm excited for the big Steelfist event. It's great to have you back in the scene, and hopefully we can get you on our show one of these days and keep it going, man.
Hey, I'm looking forward to the return of the UCE.
We're working on it, man. Oh, good stuff. All right. Thanks again, Hank Weiss. That's Hank the Vice Weiss. Check him out next Friday at the Steelfist events. We got more Ultimate Combat when we come back.